Welcome. Today, my diplomatic passport takes you to the Eastern Highlands in Mutare and Vumba, where there's this beautiful and serene environment. But in spite of this serenity, even this end of the world and this tourism hub is under lockdown. We speak today to the residents to find out how they're coping with the rather relaxed lockdown rules. We'll go to the decentralized fresh food markets to see how they have helped curb the spread of COVID-19 and encourage social distancing amongst the voices of the vegetable vendors. We also take the drive up to Vumba Mountains to meet up with a student who has had to endure lockdown in Zimbabwe, far from his home sweet home in South Sudan. Here in Dangamvura in Mutare, this place is usually a hive of activity. There are always hordes and hordes of people here at the braai stands barbecuing their meat. But this place has been incredibly cold for a long time now. Nobody comes here to braai. But also, the produce, the fresh produce like the cucumbers and tomatoes also find their way here. But even then, those at the market have had to scale down.
Ndakanapa ndinozvake zvakaita kumacheki kunyanga uevha kwananga vanema products ake aifuka kana asvika pamusika ananga asvika saka pane extra cost yapo ikumhene anotakura zvinhu zviya zvokuenda zvokudanga mvura to those designated areas anasvikanganawo boss. Then tasvika kweko patakabva kusakubva we had a system yaishanda yekuti yanga iri market yekuti munhu aihodhesa chete kwete kuronga ipapo. Saka vakanzo yedu yaienforce kuti kana akaronga ipapo airambidzwa kuti aibvatorwa zvinhu zvacho. It was strictly for farmers and contractors. Saka tazodecentralize manje hazvinozomiswa zviya zvokuti munhu anoronga tumirwi. Saka taakuti farmer ari panzvimbo 1, contractor ari panzvimbo 1, retailer aipapapo, consumer wakubva kumbachiwa futi ipapapo. Saka izvozvo hazvizotiitiri zvakanaka in terms of numbers. Kuti mafarmers nemacontractors akaramba aripo, vaya maretailers vaya votenga from 10 kuenda mberi ndo vochitengesa kusvika kunze kudoke. Zvinokonza kuti vanhu vasaungana.
Pamari dzetiri kubata zvino zvadzikira zvisingaiti nenhau yekuti waigona kana kutengesa $1,000 pa $1,000 iye zvino wakukwanisa kubva kana ne200 bond. Kana lockdown ikawedzerwa ikanzi pamberi ngavatidzorere kwatanga tiri munzvimbo dzedu tokondrorwa semakondrorwe tiri munzvimbo dzedu dzatanga tiri.
Mazuva akaikovid takambotya saka tichararama sei kuti tisinga pekutangira asi as time goes on isitakazoona ndanzi musika wavanhu pasports field ndakataura nakanzila toda basa kanzila amba toti basa maiti ririko asi kudi kwanhu 2 ngoti kana vanhu atengesa musika wapedza imozoya kuti muchicleana saka tinocleana musika tiri 2 namwe baba dzavati dzasukwa togeza matoilets toenda umba.
Now, the Eastern Highlands is not just a beautiful hub of tourism. It's also a beautiful hub of learning. But as Mecca from South Sudan found out, it's not a pretty place to be under lockdown.
My name is Mecca Maku. I'm from South Sudan. I came here on government scholarship. Government of Zimbabwe and government of South Sudan, they had an agreement on a number of 150 students. I happen to be one of them, and I'm doing mine engineering. So this is my final semester. I'm supposed to start my exam in 18 May and end somewhere in date 5 of June. That should be my last day of the whole degree that I did here in Zimbabwe. You know, there are some events that take place with the shocking actually. When you heard something that is unexpected and you have no control over that. What comes into mind now is, what should I do? The first question that I asked myself that time was, what if they lock it down throughout 12 months? What will I be doing? So with those questions, you don't have answers, by the way, because even in South Sudan, there is lockdown. Everywhere there is lockdown. So the only way is just to forget and assume that you have nothing to do. It has affected me badly in the first 2 weeks of lockdown. Let's say the 21 one. Even 14 and 14, they have no effect now because I'm now getting used to it. But the first 21 days, I actually feel bad. I lost appetite. I was thinking of a lot of things. Why would I be locked down here? I even proposed, saying to my team, I say, no, guys, if this lockdown continues, let's arrange with the embassy to take us to South Sudan. because we don't know when will this coronavirus issue get finished. Not only here in Zimbabwe, but all throughout the world. So I was like, can we make a project? Let's sit down and arrange. If it continue, can we be continue locked down here when our parents and relatives are also locked down the other side? So it's better to be in one place than being locked down separately. So that's how severe was the factor. So I was affected to the point that even I lost weight, by the way. I used to be 75, 74, 75. If I'm low, I will be 72. But now I'm 60. You see now. Because of that stress, I no longer feel like the way I have been doing my things, something actually has changed. What made it bad to me is my last semester. When I started here, I started in 1-1. 1-1 seemed to be normal to me. Up to 1-2, up to like Musa knows how we started. But reaching at the final point now, somebody, and there is an event that come and block. My hope was, I actually arranged, if I finish in June, I will graduate in July, day 10 of July. And then from next day, either day 11 or day 12, I will be ready to fly back to South Sudan. But now there's nothing. I don't even think there will be exam, or there will be graduation, or there will be what. You see now, I'm just hanging up somewhere, somehow. To make it bad, I am married, personally. I've got my family, I've got my wife with small kids. They are facing the same lockdown that side. So in our communication now, you'll find there are challenges actually facing me personally, which I need to attend it to my family. Because the most required thing in this lockdown is the attendance of someone. Let somebody be responsible, and that's what they normally say. Let's be brothers keepers or sisters keepers. Now nobody is keeping me this side. My family is not being kept by somebody that side, so that is the challenge.
I'm going to be here at the Manicaland University of Applied Sciences, where I'm supposed to see the dean and talk to him about the welfare of students. Over and above that, I'm going to meet the student advisor so that we hear the plight of those international students who've been locked down here in Mutare.
We're learning a lot daily, and one of the things that I've learned is that we need, as institutions, as a nation, to rethink, reimagine, reinvent certain systems and ways of doing things. There's an opportunity, in this difficult situation to recreate, the way we've been interacting, the way maybe we've been conducting, be it lectures or just disseminating knowledge. Knowledge creation models can be changed by this situation. I've also learned the need really for more interpersonal connection with the students. The ones that I've been engaging with during this time, you really are learning more about, just how rich and blessed and intelligent that our students are by engaging them more, because there's more time now to really interact on a very personal and intimate level with the students. And I'm amazed just at how rich, mature, and organized our students are, despite this tough situation they are facing. Maybe it's just a word of encouragement to our students, to say certainly, as a nation, as a human race, we will certainly, win this thing eventually. We don't know when or how, but I know that, with resolve, with persistence, with hope, with prayer, we will conquer this COVID-19 pandemic. So we should not lose hope, and I think the president was clear when he said, the main thing that we should preserve is life. So if the lockdown does continue, it's for the good, because we're trying to preserve life, and it gives us an opportunity, like I said, to reimagine and reinvent our systems, even economic systems. That's the model that we've been using, which is mainly, of course, capitalist in nature. Is it still relevant? It's time to question that. Let's start looking at some of our own indigenous knowledge systems, the way we lived before. So it's really a time for Africa and for Zimbabweans to, everyone has been equalized. So I'm encouraging, the nation, encouraging our students especially, to say, guys, we've got an opportunity here, you know, to reinvent and reimagine things and be the first, you know, on different levels.
Moffat, thank you for joining me on Diplomatic Passport. First and foremost, I want you to introduce yourself and what function you perform here alongside the students.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello everybody, my name is Moffat Machingura and I'm a student advisor here at Manicaland Institute of Applied Sciences. Generally we help students to cope with moments such as these. And above all, our main goal is to make sure that we produce students that succeed both in their careers and in their personal lives. Because we understand that at the end of the day, life is connected. There's an inner core, there's an outer core. Outer core is how you live outside there. Inner core is who you are deep inside. And at the end of the day, whatever we do outside is a reflection or an expression of what we really are inside. You know, our character, our personal identity, our main drive. Yeah, so generally that's my job right here at Manicaland.
And right now you're faced with a very unique situation where we've got students who are locked down, for example. There's some students who are here on lockdown. We met people from South Sudan who couldn't go back home.
Yes.
And as a student advisor, what sort of issues do students bring to you, and what sort of anxieties do they have and worries that you help them and assist them with on a day-to-day basis, for example?
Okay, yeah, it's quite an unprecedented situation that we're in. But again, I believe in the human mind, you know, that whenever it goes through something and when it goes through it long enough, it will start to reinvent itself somehow. I remember I was speaking to this other student from South Sudan. He was saying he has finished his book. During this time, he realized right now I'm seated, I'm at home. Yeah, this was supposed to be his final year. So he just took this time to reflect back. You know, this guy has been married when he came right here to Zimbabwe. He'd been married already in South Sudan. So he has been on a long-distance relationship or marriage for 5 years. So he was just writing whatever he went through and stuff like that. And one thing I liked from that young man was he managed to find something else to do during this time. And that's the same advice that I've been giving to some young people. For some of them were worried. I'm in my final year. I thought I was done. What do I do? Well, what is happening right now, we call it life. This is what life really is. Life is unpredictable, all right? It's different from university. You know that if I read chapter 5, I'm going to get something in the exam will pop up with chapter 5. But life is a totally different place. You know, you're going to pass an exam in physics and it questions you on psychology. That's what life is. And when you're done with the psychology exam, it gives you an accounting exam. So I think during this time, the message to the young people is simply this: make life happen somehow. And whatever answer you're going to find, trying to make life happen somehow, is going to be the most relevant answer for this time. You know, don't throw a pity party. You're not a victim of anything. You are just at a moment that demands you to think beyond how you have known life to be. Yeah.
Moffat, thank you so much for joining.
It's been a pleasure.
So from the eastern city of Mutare, this is all we had for you on Diplomatic Passport. Remember to get a hold of me on my Twitter handle at Zimrobbie, that's ZIMROBBIE. Of course, for feedback. We managed to see students here. We managed to talk to the Dean of the Manicaland University of Applied Sciences. We managed to talk to ordinary folk here and there telling us of their lockdown experiences. Join me again tomorrow as I come back to the city center, to Harare, as we embark on yet another journey with me, Robert Nkundiwa, on Diplomatic Passport.